Hey folks, Steve Alcorn here with you once again. Welcome back to the channel. As you can tell, this is not going to be my typical video, and it's not going to be an easy one to do. If you are new here, my name is Steve. I am a full-time reseller. My wife is also a full-time reseller with me. We've been doing this for about 6 years. She started in about 2 years ago. I've done it for 6. This video is not going to be about reselling so much as it is about credit card debt. In fact, credit card debt doesn't matter if you're a reseller or not, but this does affect a lot of people, resellers, small business owners, individuals, doesn't matter who you are. So I've been encouraged to come out and talk about where we are at currently because maybe it'll help me and maybe it'll help somebody else. And that's really the goal of this this series of videos, is to talk it out and help other people in the process. So we are currently over about 6 credit cards, $50,000, just under $50,000 in debt. That's quite a significant amount for us. It may not be a lot for some other people, but for us it is. We are not wealthy. Like I said, we're resellers and we do okay. We currently are able to pay all our bills on time every time. But the problem is with the credit cards, we're only making the minimum payments. And as most of you would know, that is not the right way to do it. It is just going to keep going and going and going, and you'll be paying on them for the rest of our lives, I'm sure. So this video is going to talk about that and how we're going to get out of it, or how we're going to try to get out of it. So as you can tell, I am not a financial genius. I am not a credit card guru. I am not even a very good business owner. I come from a background where I was a factory worker all my life. I'd never had a job that required much skill. So when I started this eBay business, and that's where I mainly sell, for me, it was something I knew and I'd been doing for 20 years, even though I wasn't full-time at it. And it was something I could do from home and make money. At the beginning, it was all cash. My wife worked. Just before the pandemic, she decided her back wasn't good and her knees are bad, so she decided she would come and resell full-time with me. At that time, we were doing a lot of Amazon, which, if you're not familiar with how that works, we were doing what's called retail arbitrage. We would go to a store and buy a product for a cheaper price and turn around and sell it on Amazon for more. And that's the basic definition of retail arbitrage. You can look it up if you're interested in how it works. But that's what we were doing about the time she was leaving her job. We would buy a lot of product at that time. Now, when I first started, this was an all-cash business. I didn't need it to be anything other than that because she was still working and this was my job. But when it changed, then it became more of okay, we need to ramp this business up. We wanted to scale the business. Well, we should never have scaled the business. And that's because, like I said, I am not a savvy business owner. I am a business owner, but I am not somebody who knows how to run a business. And it's taken me quite a few years to figure that out. In fact, I don't think I figured it out until maybe 6 months ago that I wasn't what I thought I was. I thought I was a little bit better than I was. I didn't even realize we were getting into this much debt. But what happened is you'd buy product, put it on a credit card, and at the beginning we'd pay that credit card off and we'd be fine. But it became a problem when we didn't pay the credit card off and then just moved to another credit card. And then we were still making more than the minimum payments. But then we'd move to another credit card and another, and we'd fill 4, 5, 6 credit cards up. And then it became we have to make the minimum payment. And I finally realized, I think my wife realized it way earlier than I did, but I finally realized it when we're making the minimum payment and then making all our other payments, like our 2 car payments, our house payment, water bill, and all that stuff. but we're not able to afford groceries. And then the groceries have to go on a credit card and I know that sounds horrible. And I hope that nobody else ever has to do that, but we did, and we have. And in fact, as late as last week, we have. I think quite a few times we've had to do it because we got ourselves so far behind. So, how it all happened, I don't even 100% know what we did. There were some extenuating circumstances involved in it, like a new roof for the house because we had to, and a new hot water tank. My car broke down at the end of 2021, so I had to buy a new car. So that was in the loan. Even though I was paying about the same, I was almost paid off on that loan. Now I got a whole new loan, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of extenuating circumstances that have gone into why we got so far in debt. But this series is going to be how we're going to get out of it. So today, or yesterday, I should say, we went to the bank, our local bank, where we do all our banking at. We even have her car loan is through that bank. We asked them, what can we do? What can we do to consolidate the credit card debt? We're not concerned so much about the car payments and the house payment because we can afford that. It's the credit card debt that we can't, because we're in the several $1,000s a month area with bills right now, and we are just treading water. So what can we do to bring that payment down to a reasonable amount? And so they gave us a few options. One was a personal loan, which the interest rates are high, the payments are high. We'd be right about in the same boat. It doesn't make much sense to do that, so we don't want that one. The other two options that they gave us were home equity line of credit and a home equity loan. I'm not 100% certain. Like I said, I'm not a financial guru. If I were, I wouldn't be in this situation. But one of them requires less money a month, and one of them is a shorter term, I believe. The one that we're going for, I think, is the home equity loan, or the home equity line of credit. I think that's the one we're going for right now. And the reason isn't necessarily because it's the best way to go. It's because it's the lowest payment for us. She said it would come in around $300 to $400 a month, and for the amount of money that we need to borrow. And we're just borrowing it for consolidation purposes, nothing else. There will not be used for anything else. So we're going to use that for consolidation purposes. And she's going to get us the best one we can get. The good news is that we both have credit scores in the 700s. My wife's is a little bit better than I am, but we both have credit scores above 700, which is good. And they go by the last 2 years' income. Last year, after expenses and fees and stuff, we didn't make as much as I'd like to have. We were probably in the $30,000 to $40,000 range, I believe. The prior year, we were quite a bit more than that. So hopefully the expenses don't hold us back. And then the big picture is whether or not our house is worth the amount of money we need to borrow. That is going to be the biggest issue. Now, we will take a lesser loan and pay off the bigger credit cards with it if we have to, but we'd like to consolidate them all and then not use credit cards unless emergency situations happen. So that's where we're at with all that stuff. Today, the bank called and said that we needed to submit some more paperwork, which we did. My wife ran it right up to the bank, and it's going to be a couple of week process before we hear anything. But that's where we're at. We're going to do this series. This is just the overview video of where we're at and what's going on, and hopefully it'll encourage some of you guys, if you're in the same issue, to maybe go out and look for ways to solve the problem. And if we solve the problem, which we better, we will, what we did to get out of it. Now, we're not going to stop at just getting this loan if we even qualify for it. There's other things that I'm going to do. Reselling, of course, we're going to ramp that up a little bit if we can. We're using every extra little penny we find to buy small amounts of product at a time. We're still doing $300 to $500 a week on eBay between the two of us, maybe even a little bit more some weeks and a little bit less other weeks. But I'd say $500 to $600 a week between the two of us, which pays our bills, which is good. But this time of year, we live in northeastern Ohio, so this time of year is a little bit harder for us to find eBay inventory. But we still go out. I go out 3-4 times a week, I think it is, and we even drive a couple hours to get to Akron and Canton to do a little bit more down there. But so that's one thing we're doing. Part of the reason I got in debt was I bought a laser, a Glowforge laser at the end of or the beginning of last year, and it didn't pan out the way I thought it would. I'm not as good at designing product. I'm not bad at designing product, just not good at coming up with ideas, and so that one didn't pan out. But I'm working on some ideas for that. It's getting better mentally. I have to prepare to do it, but we're going to be doing some more of that, plus some non-Glowforge related stuff that I'm doing on Etsy that we'll talk about maybe. I might even try some online things in the future just to, maybe make an extra few $20 here or there, that kind of thing. So that's all things that are coming up on here. We probably won't focus on reselling a whole lot. This will be more about getting out of debt and the after of that. So hopefully there is an after of that and we can keep going. And maybe I'll talk about how to make a little bit of money or how to stay out of debt or how, I don't know what the future of this holds, but I wanted to get on here. I was encouraged to get on here by some friends and talk about this situation because they felt that it would help me deal with it and it would help you guys if you're in a similar situation. And so that's what I'm all about. So I guess that's it for this video. This is the first one. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't very elegant. I probably rambled on a little bit, but I got the point out, I hope. If you liked what you saw, I'm gonna ask for subscribers. If you want to subscribe to follow what we do, go ahead and do that. Make sure to share this if it helps somebody else. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day.